Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of the Rumble and Roar T-Rex Zord from Power Rangers Dino Charge. So this is a large-scale standalone T-Rex Zord. I bet you couldn't tell that. You're probably like, Dawson, is that a pterodactyl? And I was like, well, yes it is. I'm getting weird already. Anyway, so this is kind of different. It's an electronic T-Rex Zord. It has various sounds in it. You can put a Dino Charger in it and activate sounds. It does not have a reader because it doesn't really matter which Dino Charger you use unless I'm a complete idiot, which is at least like 70% possible. But so it's almost like, in a way, they took the electronic component of Gabutira and made it its own thing, except you can pretty much access all the sounds by putting one charger and or your finger in there. Actually, and/or doesn't work because I don't think you can fit a finger and charger in there at the same time. That just sounds gross. But yeah, so that's kind of what it is. So just taking a look here at it, as you can see, it's quite large in scale, for sure. It's quite a bit larger than the actual T-Rex Zord, you know, from the deluxe version, and it's also larger than Gabutira as well. It's actually pretty solid looking. I mean, with the exception of things like maybe this light pack here, you know, this is where the lights are going to come from, being kind of big, and the handle up there, it's actually pretty decent looking just on its own for like a large-scale T-Rex Zord. Like, it looks pretty impressive just sitting there. Yeah, it's very, as you can see, it's just a very large-scale type of deal. On the other side, it's pretty much like the same, except he's got a bunch of holes all over him, so it's like if he got shot up. But yeah, it's pretty neat looking, I have to say, with the exception of, you know, the handle. It's just pretty cool looking if you wanted some sort of standalone Rexy going on. As you can see when I picked it up, he moves around, which is going to be part of his features. His head will move, he can turn, his little legs will stomp, and his tail will move. That is all part of his features. But yeah, look-wise, pretty decent there. Before I forget, it sounds on its own. It does come with a charger, which is just a simple, regular Red Ranger's Tyrannosaurus Rex charger, except it's got gold plating. It's kind of similar to, like, you know, the Mighty Morphin chargers and the Megazord one with the gold plating, except this one is a little bit less shiny. But it's just the regular charger with the, you know, charged up and not charged up version and stuff like that. It says Tyrannosaurus Rex on the back. Just to prove the same sounds, show it in the morpher quickly.
T-Rex Charger, engage, energize, unleash the power. Tyrannosaurus Rex, Power Ranger Red.
So yeah, same sounds as you would get. I feel like I have a lot of T-Rex chargers. I probably do have more than a lot of them, but it's not quite as much as I think. But yeah, still, at least it's kind of a neater version than, at least this didn't come with like the third glow-in-the-dark version of it. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn it on. On the other side here, there's a little button. Right now it's on off, which is in the middle, then there's try me, and then there's on. So we'll put it on. And as you can see, there's lights coming from three different... As you can see, there's spoiler alert noises, but there's lights coming from here, here, and the eyes, which is actually pretty neat. And so the first thing I'm going to show is that its smashing noises, which essentially, when you move it back and forth, the little wheels on the bottom will turn its feet, and it will make noises like that. And the little feet will move. Not little feet. And you can also turn them side to side like that. So yeah, that's what it does there with those noises. That was exactly how it sounded. This, so you can't even tell the difference. So yeah, there's that. And then you have this button up here, which when you hold it down, and then it'll just restart. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Why does this not play the Dino Charge theme? I'm pretty upset about that. Like, not like I'm gonna go out and protest, but considering since Samurai, we've had various toys that have electronics play their theme. Samurai had like the buckle, Megaforce had the this sword. I want to call it the Wild Sword, but that's not right. Ultra Sword or whatever. And then the Wild Sword was partially right. Anyway, I'm arguing with myself in my head. And even the Super Megaforce, like 8-inch sound figure played the Megaforce theme. And this would have been a perfect opportunity to play the Dino Charge theme, especially since the Dino Charge theme is so awesome. And like it starts off, one of the starting off scenes is the T-Rex jumping up, and it would have been so cool. And like it makes zero sense to have the Mighty Morphin theme in here. Like the main target for this toy in particular, and even for my recommendation, spoiler alert, is kids. And they're all about the new series. I mean, I'd hope they would be, because that's what they know. So I think it's a really big mistake to put the Mighty Morphin theme in there. It makes sense for things like the Legacy toys, where it's, you know, a collector's item for the older people that grew up with it, and, you know, nostalgia and all that stuff. But not for this. That's pretty annoying, actually. I really do dig the way it moves around, though. It's pretty animated. And I wish when I was doing this right now I didn't have to hear the theme while it was being animated, but still, it's pretty neat, and I dig stuff like the way that the eyes light up in particular. Like, this is all nice and there's lots of different lights, but the lights in the eyes in particular are pretty lifelike. Okay, so now you can lift them up like this, and you can do this if you want, and it'll still do the same steps. Now, you can put the charger in. There's a charger slot just like on the regular T-Rex Zord. So place it in here. And it'll make those noises. Now, if you hold this down now, it'll pretty much be the same, except there'll be a phrase at the beginning. And let's hope this video doesn't get flagged for that. It's not the full song, so I don't think I'll have a problem, but I have had a problem before with like the Dragon Dagger. But so yeah, there's that. And that, with the Go-Go Power Rangers at the beginning, is what will happen if you have it on the Try Me mode. So yeah, now when you press them down now after it's kind of like almost like when you close the Morpher jaw, or when you like close mini tier or something, it will clamp down and make various sounds. There's quite a bit of them, and they're all sort of like the sounds that the individual Judenchi would make based on their power. And as far as I can tell, I've ran through them a bunch of times. They go in a pretty random order. Like, in particular, I noticed the Overapu noise around like the 12th time I pressed it the first time around, and then I did a second cycle with the different battery just to be sure, and it was like 4. So it's random, depending on what order it is. I'm just gonna have to try to remember the first sound it makes, so I don't just keep going. But anyway, let's go ahead. That was perfect timing, the Overapu noise. So yeah, you got that. Now, I think we're almost done. Let me just... I want to get back to the sound we were at. Just to be sure. I'm pretty sure we're done. I just want to get back to the Rapu noise. Just to be sure. There we go. I'm pretty sure I went overboard, but I always like to get back to the noise I started with just to be sure, because there's quite a bit of the sounds that are fairly similar to each other. In particular, like the clashing noises, they're kind of close to each other. So like, yeah. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of sounds in it, and they do kind of go on a random loop. There was definitely some repeated sounds there, but I just wanted to be safe and sorry, so sorry about that. Lots of sorries. But yeah, that's pretty neat, I have to say. It's kind of nice in a way to have it so that you don't have to put in a different charger for every sound. I mean, it does kind of take away from the whole gimmick of the current series with that. But it's also nice, especially for kids, to not always have gone out and collected so many things just to have fun with one toy, because you already have to do that with the Morpher. So it's nice for that. I think it would have been cool to maybe have both. It's kind of like the Mobiris, because you could actually have quite a bit of sounds with that without having keys. But, you know, have like those functions the way it is, but then maybe have, you know, the various reading noises with it to just have some more battery functions, but that probably would have cost more. But still, either way, I think it's kind of nice that you don't have to have all the batteries for it or anything like that. And plus the... whatever mini tier will be next year will probably be something similar to that. But anyway, overall, it's kind of a mixed bag a little bit with this guy. I do dig the way he looks quite a bit. I mean, I like the design in general. I think they captured his look really well, as I mentioned at the top of the review. With the exception of stuff like the handle, is actually a pretty decent looking display T-Rex, and it's very large scale, so it's pretty impressive looking. Also forgot to mention you can't move his little arms. So that's pretty cool. I think that there's quite a bit of sounds. I think in particular for kids, this is a really fun one. It's got a ton of different sounds. The animated movements are just really fun. I think it looks kind of neat. So definitely for kids, I think, if you're looking for something pretty unique, I think it's a fun toy. For collectors, maybe not quite as much. It's certainly not a bad toy. It's actually a pretty fun and pretty decently feature-rich toy. My main disappointment, honestly, comes from the theme song. Like, everything else, it did exactly what I expected it to. It's got all those different effect sounds, the animated movements, which are cool. It's just the theme song, which really disappoints me. It's like, partially because of the MMPR fatigue we've been having, but also partially because it doesn't really make any sense, given that we have gotten toys in the previous years of the current run that featured the theme song, so I've been waiting for whatever Dino Charge was going to offer for that, and I thought it was going to be this. I know they showed the MMPR theme when this was on like prototype display, but I assumed they'd switch it out, so that's a huge disappointment. I think that was a big mistake on many levels. But other than that, I can definitely recommend this for kids, and for collectors, maybe. That's pretty much what I got for that. Overall, I do dig it. I just wish certain choices had been made differently. Alright, but anyway, that's about it. Until next time, make sure to check out the Crazy Podcast at writersrangeandrambles.com. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, it's Dawson Ryder, signing out.